Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Perry County Central High School and the John C. Combs Arena. Your host for the 28th Annual WYMT Wayne Supply Mountain Basketball Classic, presented by Food City and sponsored by your local Kentucky Farm Bureau agents. Tonight's second game features the Knox Central Panthers and the Perry County Central Commodores. Now let's meet our starting lineups. First for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Panthers from Knox Central. Starting at guard, a 6'1" senior, number 12, Matthew Barger. Starting at guard, a 6'1" senior, number 15, Dustin Hensley. Starting at guard, a 6' senior, number 1, Nate Cole. Starting at forward, a 6'2" sophomore, number 4, Tanner Wells. Starting at forward, a 6'5" junior, number 31, Chad Marcy. The head coach for the Panthers, James Voigt. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the home team on the scoreboard, the Commodores from Perry County Central. Starting at guard, a 6'1" junior, number 13, Matt Turner. Starting at forward, a 6'2" sophomore, number 20, Damon Tobler. Starting at forward, a 6'1" junior, number 23, James Blair. Starting at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 32, Braxton Whitmore. And starting at guard, a 5'11" junior, number 10, Braxton Beverly. The head coach for the Commodores, Shannon Hoskins. The officials for tonight's game are from the 15th region, Mr. Jim Cecil, Mr. Paul Pelfrey, and Mr. Derek Wright.
Those are your starting lineups, Perry Central and Knox Central. Commodores and the Panthers. The winner will get the Buckhorn Wildcats on Friday night, the second semifinal game. The loser gets a very, I would think, a frustrated, hungry Lawrence County team tomorrow in the consolation bracket.
Yeah, Lawrence County's played some great basketball as they've come here to the Mountain Classic. Upset Cordia last year, a Cordia team we thought perhaps could win the Mountain Classic, and they played some excellent basketball, just come up a little short as we see the sportsmanship there at midcourt. We've always seen great sportsmanship amongst the teams, and with your play-by-play of this evening's contest, Mr. Josh McKinney.
Thank you, Mr. Jim Frazier. Lauren Cash will join us throughout the night on the sideline, and the tip will go to the Commodores. And a big matchup to watch for is Braxton Beverly versus Nate Cole. How Cole and the Panthers will defend Beverly. There's a near. I thought Whitmore was going to pull the three. Braxton Whitmore in the corner had the open shot. And Jim, if there's a team in this tournament with the quickness to maybe contain Braxton Beverly at the guard position, it's this Knox Central team.
Yeah, I like the fact that Coach Voigt going to try man-to-man with nothing specific, nothing special on Beverly here.
See how that goes to start out. Beverly, the tough floater in the lane, won't go, and that's what the Panthers are going to have to do, limit the Commodores to one shot and out.
It's like Perry Central will open up in a zone here, Josh. Try to invite the quick outside shot.
Panthers can shoot the ball from the outside. Of course, they can also go down low to their 6'5" junior, Chad Marcy. There's a three from the corner. Damon Tobler clears the miss for Perry Central, and the Commodores now wanting to run. Whitmore strong to the bucket. Gets the tough two, and we have our first points of the ball game for the Commodores. And an ensuing turnover for Knox Central. Matthew Barger being aggressive, maybe got a little too quick, and just an aired pass in the corner intended for Cole. And
you know, you talked about, Josh, the athleticism of this Knox Central team. You'll see they'll try some token full court pressure, but Barger, one of the most outstanding football players you'll see on both sides of the ball, offense or defense.
Short on the jumper from Beverly, and Knox Central, they've shown here early, Jim, they want to run with the basketball, and there's another aired pass.
Perry Central, good transition defense. The only bucket scored in this game was Knox Central maybe a little bit heavy in the front court. Perry Central got it down quickly for the basket.
And you wonder if at least early on Knox Central will suffer from maybe a couple of nerves as Braxton Whitmore knocks down the triple from the wing. And you see it all the time, teams that maybe haven't played in this tournament for a while, some players not used to maybe the atmosphere, is that really kind of settles in the first quarter. Maybe the Panthers struggle with that early on.
See that happening here, Josh. It happens a lot of times in the Mountain Classic.
Knox Central's been off on a couple of shots, a couple strong shots. Also made some bad passes, but there's Barger, the floater, well short. Goes out of bounds off of a Panther. Will go back to the Commodores. Perry Central an early 5-0 lead. And that's what we don't want if you're Coach James Voigt and Knox Central, is to get behind early against Perry Central in the Mountain Classic on their home court.
They turned it over a number of times, really haven't gotten a shot on goal, so they'll have to settle down. That's one of the things that hits teams that don't have a lot of experience in the Mountain Classic. Coaches ask me, I try to advise them to play tough defense, the offense will come, and you see there, tough defense forces a turnover.
Nice hands by Knox, gets the loose ball. We'll see if they can capitalize here. More than 2 minutes into this one, Knox Central still scoreless. Perry Central with a 5-point lead. Here's a three-pointer from the wing, too strong from Dustin Hensley. Long rebound to Turner. Nice transition offense from Perry Central. Braxton Whitmore finishes with the layup, and it's a 7-0 run for the Commodores.
How about the touch pass from Braxton Beverly there? And of course, Perry Central, a team playing on their home court with the experience of playing in the Mountain Classic.
There's the first bucket for Knox Central. Chad Marcy, the 6'5" junior, missed a couple of games recently with an injury, but I'm sure Voigt is glad to see him back on the court. And it's tough to defend that when Braxton Beverly's driving to the hole.
Big start for Perry Central, and Coach Voigt and his guys try to get a good shot here. They've gotten it down on the inside, had some success.
Three from Cole, right that one down. Knox Central hitting a couple of shots, but here's what they've not done lately, and that's get back defensively. Shot no good, put back up no good by Turner. Rebound to James Blair. And we'll go out of bounds to Knox Central. That brings us to our first media timeout. Perry Central up 4, 9-5 over Knox Central at the Mountain Classic, live on this TV and WYMT.com. Perry Central a 9-5 lead over the Knox Central Panthers. First quarter action of the final first round game of the Boys Mountain Classic here from Perry Central. Knox Central the ball out of our first media timeout. Let's now send it over to the third member of our broadcast team, Miss Lauren Cash. Lauren?
Guys, out of the timeout, Coach Voigt says you've got to calm down. Seeing them get down 7-0, he said you're making it too easy. He was talking about Braxton Beverly just taking it straight to the lane for the easy too. He said as far as offensively, take your time, get in your gaps. They can do this. That's what he said, guys.
Very much, Lauren. And Jim, that's what we talked about, getting the nerves out. And as she was talking about Braxton Beverly, he took one to the rack, but you know what? The other end, Nate Cole knocked down a second three.
Well, you know, you talked about Nate Cole, and the first time I've seen him play extensively, and the minute he gets his hands on it, he fires, hits 2 threes, and puts the Panthers back in this game. So I don't know that Coach Voigt wants to give that guy much more than the green light to get going. Those 2 3-pointers have brought him back.
Deep three from Beverly won't go. And you know, Jim, watching Chad Marcy reminds me of another Knox Central big man a couple of years ago, Mr. Cody Miller, who went on to play at Union for a couple of years, and boy, he was a battler down low.
Had all the skills and had that big body, kind of an Adrian Dantley type body that could get his shot off against bigger players.
Nice adjustment on the baseline from Whitmore against Marcy. Knox Central down 5, and Marthy Barger yet to crack the scoring column for the Panthers. And if they can stay in this ball game when he's not scoring, it's going to be big for them, but not a very good decision that time on yet another Panther turnover. Trying to get the ball cross court to Dustin Hensley was Cole, and just well too high. And that's, I think, one thing Coach Voigt does not want, are those unforced turnovers. You're already going up against a team that has a lot of skill. Don't help them out any more than you need to.
And I don't know how successful they'll be with full court pressure, because Perry Central can handle the basketball.
Nice dish from Whitmore to Turner, and they're setting a lot of screens, Jim, in the half court, getting players open, not just Beverly, but Whitmore, Turner. We've seen James Blair come off a couple of picks. They're getting everybody involved.
And that's what you do as you run a good offense. It's the movement away from the ball, as you see Knox Central not getting nearly the same movement away from the basketball, particularly against the zone, Josh. You've got to work away from the ball, get some good crisp passing.
I'm no body language expert, but it seems like Barger's a little frustrated. He's not able to get open like he has been a lot this season. Perry Central doing a fantastic job man-to-man, matching him step for step. Shot no good down low for Tanner Wells, but he will be rewarded for his extra effort. We'll go to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Down 7, just more than 2 minutes to go. Opening quarter, Boys Mountain Classic, final first round game.
Tanner Wells, another one of these fine young players for Knox Central. Kind of got that big body, football player's body. And talked about Cody Miller. That's what that young man had, that strength to be able to get your shot off in traffic.
You see that a lot here in the mountains, Jim. Players who play football and other sports and are also on the basketball court. And it really shows the last couple of years the athleticism on a lot of these teams, much like Knox Central. Perry Central's got a couple of football players. Oh! How about that for athleticism?
Well, we said maybe not full court pressure, Coach Voigt, but they went with it.
And a turnover at the other end. Beverly.
What a move.
Gets it to fall. He goes underneath the rim. Man, oh man. His 6th point of this first quarter. Perry Central out to a 19-10 lead. Check this out. Beverly double team, just flips it up to Tobler. That was too easy for Perry Central.
Well, you talked about the athleticism and the football players that have come out and
I think maybe they heard me a little bit.
Yeah. And look at this move here. Nearly loses the handle. Does Beverly. Beautiful reverse layup. And I think Coach Voigt is going to have to shelve the full court pressure right now because these Perry Central kids are thriving on it. They're getting some good looks. Certainly Cole has hit 2 big 3-pointers, or Knox Central would be in a deep, deep hole here.
They've just not been able to connect a lot offensively, and you mentioned it, they're not getting back defensively, kind of lagging on their press. Jumper will not go. We're going to have a foul underneath. Marcy and Tobler going after the rebound, and
they're
going to tag Damon Tobler with the foul.
You know, I think a team like Knox Central, we've always talked, what we've strived to do in the Mountain Classic is have a tournament that is pretty much like a regional tournament game here, Josh, as you see the miss there. And Knox Central just hasn't been able to answer that type of intensity.
Well, they've come out of the locker room at tip-off. They've been punched in the mouth by the Commodores. We'll see what Knox can do. Barger being aggressive and will draw the foul on the floor on Braxton Beverly.
Officials here from the 15th region letting them play. Only the
region you and myself are familiar with.
Absolutely. Only 3 team fouls on Perry Central here.
Would really like to get Barger going with Knox Central as he commits the turnover there. Beverly, another layup blocked by Barger.
Oh, but he took a tough shot.
Shaken up on the play was Barger of Knox, slow getting back into front court, and he just doesn't seem like himself this first quarter.
Sometimes in the Mountain Classic, you're just not able to match the intensity of the opponent. That's what's happened to Knox Central. They need to get some good looks down low.
There's one good look from Mr. Tanner Wells. Gets the bucket on the block to trim the deficit to 7.
Just don't know about this full court pressure here, though.
It's not been very effective, and I think they back off of it. Just maybe kind of showing it a little bit.
Yep. All these guys from Perry Central can handle the ball so very well. See that great movement, what Shannon Hoskins has been able to do here.
And Tobler misses the layup, though. Excellent pressure by Marcy to adjust the shot, and Knox Central with 20 seconds left. We'll see if they try to hold it for the last shot to cut into this 7-point hole and close out the first quarter.
I think it's a good decision by the Panthers here to slow it down, go for 1. They could get this thing down to 5, maybe 6.
There's a turnover. Beverly, can he beat the clock? Yes! And that brings us to the end of 1. Braxton Beverly, 8 points to lead Perry Central, 21-12. Commodores over the Panthers. The Boys Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. 21-12, Perry County Central over Knox Central in the final first-round game of the Mountain Basketball Classic. Live here from Perry Central, Josh McKinney joined by Jim Frazier, Lauren Cash on sideline duty tonight. Winner advances to Friday's semifinal to face Buckhorn. The loser will get Lawrence County tomorrow in the consolation. Damon Tobler, the tough bank shot, 4 for him, and the lead is now 11, double digits for Perry Central, their largest of this first half.
Josh, you picked up on it. The great movement away from the ball is what's beating that man-to-man for Perry Central. You see Knox Central, guys are sort of standing around against his zone, and they turn it over once again. No one really cut to the ball handler to give him an opportunity to release.
Knox Central really just kind of getting themselves into some tough situations. Tobler got the steal, had the 1-on-3 break. Beverly got the steal on the offensive board, and Perry Central just all over the place offensively. Tobler will get bailed out by the foul on the floor, but man, oh man. Braxton Beverly and Damon Tobler battling hard for the offensive boards. Basically 2-on-4 that last trip.
Yeah, it really was. Tanner Wells and the guys trying to battle in there and get the ball, bring it away, but Perry Central aggressive, active, and Coach Shannon Hoskins has great player movement here. See how they're just slicing up this man-to-man.
If you're Shannon Hoskins and that Perry Central staff, you've got to like what you've seen this first quarter. Tobler, another tough bucket down low, and right now just no answer really for Tobler in the post if you're Knox Central, and offensively they can't really get anybody inside either. They're living on the perimeter. Barger, the 3, no good. Tobler, another rebound. Here come the Commodores, trying to add to their 13-point lead. Largest of the game. Knox Central has never led in this one. Tobler, boy, he's tough. And a quick timeout for Coach James Boyd as a 21-12 first quarter lead has ballooned to 27-12. Mr. Frazier, and this second quarter, it's been all Damon Tobler.
It has been all Damon Tobler. He's got all the points here. Just going to see the young man as a left-handed player here. He's able to spin and get his shot away, as you see. Number 30 there, Wyatt, just unable to do much with Damon Tobler.
And Knox Central just seems like they're just a half a step behind Perry Central. Just not able to get to the spot, not able to make the pass. And Perry Central, give them all the credit. They're really creating these mismatches and these just really unforced turnovers. As you see on the screen, the good folks at Kentucky Farm Bureau, another fantastic, one of many sponsors for this entire week, is a lot of this tournament could not happen without the hard efforts of a lot of people that don't get the due credit that they deserve, and it's a lot of people put in a lot of hours to make this week happen.
No question about that. It's a labor of love for a lot of folks. $103,000 in scholarship money. And we will be choosing a couple of players to get a $1,000 scholarship to college as well, some deserving seniors. So it should round out at about 105 kids getting an opportunity, a better opportunity for college.
27-12, Commodores by 15 in this first quarter. There's a lob to Marcy, blocked by Seth Napier, who got up. As we will send it over to Lauren Cash, who is listening in on the timeout during that last dead ball. Lauren, what do you got?
Yeah, Josh and Jim, it's a lot about what you guys were just talking about, how Knox Central continues to press, and Coach Hoskins at the end of that quarter was proud of the speed that his team was playing at. He's like, we're outrunning them, we're getting fast. As far as Knox Central in the timeout, Coach Voigt said, is there any question who's fighting harder than us right now? No, Perry Central, guys.
That's spot on, Lauren.
Yeah.
As a mismatch down low during that report, Chad Marcy guarded by the much smaller Seth Napier, and if you're Knox Central, you've got to try to exploit that mismatch. But man, oh man, this first half for Knox, it's been all Tanner Wells. Without him and the three-point shooting of Nate Cole, Knox would be in a much bigger world of hurt.
Ran a good little play that time, Josh, and had a clear guy go through and clear the lane for Wells as Napier went with the first player, but I don't know about this full court pressure. Certainly you're down 13, but looks like it's more of a token nature, but they've had a tough time in transition defense here.
Even on this token pressure, they're still late getting back in the half court. Whitmore too strong on the three, and Knox Central could trim even more into this deficit. Here's a three attempt out of the corner, short from Hensley, and the Commodores nearly threw it away, did Beverly.
Good look.
And they did throw it away. Steal by Hensley, takes it up, blocked from behind by James Blair.
Oh.
Wow. And Shannon Hoskins is telling his team, as he calls a timeout, settle down. You've done a good job of containing your emotions and energy this first half. Settle down.
And he's settling down, and now Coach Hoskins County making some moves over there, but Shannon, one of the best to play in the Mountain Classic, a former MVP of the Mountain Classic. So telling his guys to settle down, as Josh was mentioning there. Couldn't do it without the cheerleaders. Nice crowd on hand for this first round.
First three nights of this tournament have had good turnouts.
Sure have. Of course, the girls tournament, girls portion of our tournament was hotly contested. We'll have Bell County and Leslie County. Leslie County Harlan game was tremendous in the girls action, Josh.
You and I will have that girls championship on Saturday. Looking forward to that.
Fired up. Double picks on the high post there for Beverly.
There's a steal by Hensley again. Can he convert this time? And going to say walked. That will bring us to our media timeout. 27-14 midway through this second quarter. Perry Central on top of Knox Central. First round action of the YMT Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. 4:52 to play in the second quarter, the final first round game of the 2015 WYMT Wayne Supply Mountain Basketball Classic. Perry Central 13-point lead over Knox Central in a first half. Jim Frazier that has been all Commodores, and there's nice defense by the Panthers, but can they capitalize?
Officials letting them play.
As Knox will go to the free throw line, gives us time to send it over to Lauren Cash.
Guys, out of the timeout, Coach Hoskins goes from being excited about their intensity and their energy, but still telling them to calm down. He said, play basketball. You're not a machine. Just play basketball. As far as Knox Central, they said time is on their side. They're just in the first half. He said, but they got to start stepping up. Coach only likes the energy out of 2 of his 5 players, and that's not a good odd right now for them. Guys.
Thank you, Lauren. Even your mathematical skills can show that 2 out of 5 is not a good ratio if you're a head coach wanting effort from your players. We give her a hard time.
Oh, there you go.
Beverly short on his jumper.
One thing KNOX is doing well is holding Perry Central to 1 shot.
And Perry Central doing the same thing to Knox. When a player drives the basket, they're being aggressive, Jim, but Perry Central, you're going up against 3 or 5 defenders if you're Knox Central at the bucket. Beverly gets the floater to fall. That's his 10th point.
He's really perfected that little teardrop type move as he jump stomps into the lane. But in a game like this, you're going to get hit if you take it to the hoop. That's what Coach Cal talking about with the University of Kentucky. Got to be strong. You see another turnover down low here for Knox Central. They unofficially have turned the ball over 9 times here in this first half.
Nice pass from Beverly to Tobler. No answer right now for Coach James Voigt. 10 points for Tobler, 10 for Beverly. They lead by 16. Wells in the paint. And Wells has had a good first half for Knox, and really keeping them in this ball game. 7 for number 4.
That's where they need to get the ball, I think. And then if the defense collapses on him, perhaps he can fan it out. But this is one of the best passing teams I've ever seen from Perry Central here, Josh.
And there's a turnover.
The bad pass goes out of the way.
That's the way it works. You talk good about somebody or a team, and then right as you're saying it, they kind of do the complete opposite.
Man, but they have been passing the ball so very well and moving without the basketball superbly.
As this first half has gone, Knox is just down 14 points. It seems like they should be down maybe 20 with the way this first half has kind of played out, but they just can't really get any stops on the defensive end and convert them into points at the other end.
Cole has a tough job here. He's going mano-a-mano against Beverly, and you see how much better that young man has gotten. What a move, what a pass.
He got that nice little dish off to Tolbert, perfected. Turner out of the corner, knocks down the three. A couple of threes, a couple of buckets for Matt Turner, who's now got 5 points for the Commodores. Cole thought about the three, drives in, and will be bumped on the drive. Looks like it may be James Blair. 17-point lead, it will be Blair for the Commodores.
Still not a bonus opportunity, though. The officials from the 15th region letting them play, and that's one of the few times we've seen a guy drive to the basket and get a hand slap type foul called.
Barger really not being able to establish himself. Marcy, a tough bucket down low in the paint against Damon Tobler. 4 points for Marcy, and he's a guy they really want to get the ball to, maybe get some fouls called on the big men of Perry.
You know, you've got these last 2 minutes of the second quarter. This is going to be critical here for Knox Central. They've got to get some stops and get the ball into their big guys. And then maybe if the defense falls in on them, they can fan it out for the three. They got to work inside out, but Perry Central here. Look at the spacing of the players, Josh. That's critical in being successful.
And there's so much movement as Braxton Beverly crosses over Matthew Barger. There's so much movement, and they're really wearing down Knox Central in the half court. Wells, another floater in the paint. This one won't go. Rebound put back up, no good by Wells. And Wells is, I'm sure, you know, Lauren said Coach Voigt only pleased with the effort of 2 of his 5 players. I'm sure Wells has to be one of them.
Yeah, he has. Played a hard-fought game down on the inside. I think that's where Knox Central's kind of getting a little bit of an advantage, Josh. But just difficult to get things going in the Mountain Classic. As you'll take a look here. Watch this dribbling exhibition by number 10, B-Square, Braxton Beverly. Puts it home.
Nice little crossover. Barger slipped on the defense, and Beverly, knocked down the long-range jumper. Both free throws no good from Wells. Deficit still 17.
Yeah, that hurts.
90 seconds to play first half. Another pull-up for Beverly, short. Another defensive board for Knox. Well, they've had their opportunities, Jim.
They have, but this is probably too quick.
And a quick shot if you're Coach Voigt is not what you want when you're outnumbered 3-5 the other way.
Well, Nate Cole took a couple of quick three-pointers in that first quarter and hit them and allowed them to creep back to about, I believe the spread was 11-8. But since then, it's been pretty much all Perry Central.
Braxton Beverly, Damon Tobler, each in double figures already for the Commodores. Beverly double-teamed. Gets Tobler in the corner, drives in, and a blocking foul on Tanner Wells of Knox Central with 57.7 on the clock. Perry Central up 17 points in a game and a half that's really been all Commodores since that point you mentioned when it was 11-8 in the first quarter.
You know, Josh, I'm going to say that this might be one of the best games Perry Central's played this year as I sort of took a look at their schedule and so forth. But when Beverly was double-teamed there, superb movement by the rest of the players to get free.
Well, Austin East about banked into three, and we get here early enough this week. We were able to see some practices of the Commodores, and it's one thing Coach Hoskins has been preaching all week is consistency. Come out, play consistent, play smart, you know, get your motion going, crisp passes, and right now they've done just about everything well.
Look at those hand slaps.
Shot no good by Marcy down low, and players battling for the board, picked up again by Tobler. He's got to be close to a double-double in the first half.
Tough player, and I believe you'll see Perry Central pull it out. Happy to go in with the lead at either 17 or more.
I think if you're Coach Voigt, you got to be pleased you're down 17.
What you're going to do, you're going to see the 4 guys go to the baseline, and Beverly will probably try to take his guy one-on-one.
Splits Barger and another defender, flips it up and in for 2. And Knox will not get a shot off. 38-19 your score at the half. As Lauren Cash will try to trace down head coach Shannon Hoskins of Perry Central. Has to go at the other end of the court.
Take Coach Hoskins, he's over there playing defense and everything, running back and forth. The intensity on the face of the former Mountain Classic MVP.
Making Lauren earn her paycheck this week. Commodores lead at 38-19 over the Knox Central Panthers, making their first appearance in the Classic since 2010. And Lauren is set with head coach Shannon Hoskins. Lauren?
All right, Coach, listening into your huddle, you're impressed with your team's intensity, and then you tell them to calm down. What have you seen out of your guys so far?
Well, right now we're in a good run, good rhythm offensively, and I want to try to get what we want on the offensive end. But when you get up like that, you have a tendency to get a little wild and scattered, so that's what we were doing. But they're under control now. When you got a point guard like Braxton Beverly, you're not going to be scattered for long. He's going to get you back into it.
Defensively, you all really held Matthew Barger in check. What's been the key for that?
Well, we're committing a man and a half. We're committing an extra man to stop his penetration and almost make him kick it. So we're doing a good job with it right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Perry Central 38, Knox Central 19. First round action of the Boys Mountain Classic from Perry Central High School. We'll have more after this on this TV and WYMT.com. We're about 70 seconds away from the beginning of the third quarter. Knox Central trailing Perry Central 38-19 at halftime. Final first round game. And Jim, talk a little bit about the Commodores, of course, led by point guard Braxton Beverly, the junior. But they've had a pretty decent season so far by the standards of head coach Shannon Hoskins.
They have, and I think both of these teams sort of hit a little bit of a lull during the holiday period. But you see there, Beverly averaging some 27 points a contest, and right there, the highest win percentage in the history of the Mountain Classic at 74%. And you guys have been working out some statistics, haven't you? I mean, wow.
An all-time record of 29-10 in this tournament, making their 15th appearance this season. Of course, the all-time wins are 42 by, of course, Clay County. A lot of those coming from Bobby Keith, whose teams won 8 of the first 10 Mountain Classics. And boy, oh boy, what a run they had to start this thing off.
Surely did, Josh, and always great to see the man himself here at the tournament. Of course, one of his top men, Earl Owens, he always comes by to say hello to Earl. We do every game, but the Mountain Classic was able to have Clay County when they were as good as anybody in the country, and it instantly made the Mountain Classic a reputable and outstanding tournament. It was something to be involved with because Clay County was involved with it.
Perry Central gets the ball to start the third, and they start it the way they finished the first half with a bucket. 9 points for Braxton Whitmore, and it is now a 21-point lead. And here's a steal. Beverly behind the back pass to Matt Turner. Nice little spin move, banked it off the glass, and a quick 4-0 run for the Commodores here in the third. Barger over Tobler, can't get it to go. He is still scoreless in this one, Jim.
Yeah, he certainly is, Josh. And how about this movement by Perry Central?
James Blair, 3-0 good. Not the start at all you wanted if you're Coach James Voigt. Foul on the floor, Barger on the drive. And Jim, Clay County who had that big run to start the Mountain Classic. On the girls' side, really last couple of years, Bell County looking pretty good to win the first 2 ever girls tournaments.
They certainly are, and I guess on Saturday we'll have 2 all-time leading scorers playing with Cameron Justice and Macy Morris, the all-time leading scorer for the girls.
Nate Cole is third three-pointer. Now a 20-point game for Knox, and they've got to have some sort of second half comeback if they want to get back into this one, and it's going to start at the defensive end. Whitmore up and under, gets it to fall. Tough layup for Whitmore. He reaches double figures, the third Commodore to do so, and there's a steal at the other end.
What hustle by that young man, and this is one of the best teams I've seen play ball in a while in the Mountain Classic. They are playing great team basketball here. Shannon Hoskins, assistant coach Noble and his guys, they are doing a job over there.
They are playing about as well as I'm sure they've played all season.
Look at this ball movement and the picks away from the basketball. Good decision. Tobler decided to not force it to the inside.
Whitmore rattles home a 3. And it's really fun to watch a guy like Tobler grow, Jim. We saw his athletic ability last year, but he was really raw, kind of needed some work, and he was able to go up for the football team. There's another turnover for Perry. Beverly's going to take it himself, misses the layup, and he's really honed his athletic skills and turned into quite the player. There's a block by Turner. These Commodores are everywhere.
Turner and Whitmore are playing tremendous.
And Tobler misses the dunk. Would have been his second of the game. Barger, nice little spin move, but can't get the shot to fall. Boy, that would have brought the Perry Central crowd to their feet.
Yeah, it would have. And, Josh, of course, you and I, a couple old Floyd County boys, and the team with perhaps the most futility in the Mountain Classic, my Betsy Lane Bobcats, 0-9.
And they've had some good teams in the Classic.
Oh, they've had some great teams in the Classic, teams that have gone on to win the All-A championship. But you see here, Tobler is going to elevate.
Uncontested, but just could not connect.
Kicks off the back iron. But I just think some of the things that happened to Betsy Lane have happened to Knox Central here in this tournament. It's difficult to match the intensity level against teams of Perry Central and Knox Central in this tournament.
Turner shot won't go. Rebound Blair puts it up, rolls it in. You know, Betsy Lane was in the tournament the year they won the All-A State Classic, and they went 0-2.
Yeah.
That's how tough this tournament is for teams in the area.
Just no question about it, and KNOX just kind of getting a little bit of a lesson on that.
There's an offensive rebound and a putback bucket for Chad Marcy. 6 points for him, not the point total they thought he would have in the third quarter, but Tobler the other way. Boy, Perry Central gives up a bucket, get a bucket themselves.
And pretty quick they get a bucket themselves.
Well, we thought Knox Central would try to run, and they have tried to run at times, but Perry Central putting on a clinic on how to do so. Cole, three-pointer won't go, rebound to James Blair.
And now the transition defense a little slow getting back for Knox.
When you wonder how much energy, didn't mean to cut you off, how much energy they exerted in the first half with their defensive pressure and having to chase down players away from the ball, and they really started looking winded toward the end of that first half. Beverly shot won't fall. Has yet to score this third quarter after 14 in the first half. Marcy on the block against Tobler, puts it up and in.
That's where they've had success with their big bodies. I guess if there is a knock against Perry Central, they don't have that big body like Johnson had, that 6'7", 6'8" guy on the inside to take charge.
Whitmore, another three from the corner, hit one from the same spot a couple of moments ago. Knox Central gets a bucket, Perry Central gets a three. Not what you want. Not a recipe for a good comeback if you're the Panthers. Now down 26. Bucket no good by Wells. Got his own rebound. Puts it up no good. Rebound fought for, controlled by Beverly. And a reach-in foul on Matthew Barger. Should bring us to a media timeout. 3:30 to play. 54-28. Perry Central leads Knox Central. First round action of the Boys Mountain Classic. As the Commodores, Jim, have really just went into the locker room up 19 points. They've extended their lead here in this third quarter. They lead at 54-28 right now.
Yeah, they lead at 54-28, Josh, and
we'll be back in a moment with more on this TV and WYMT.com. 54-28, Perry Central over Knox. Send it now over to Lauren Cash.
Guys, I listened to both coaches in that timeout, and Coach Hoskins is liking what he sees offensively, but defensively, he says they're letting Chad Marcy get in too deep on him and get those easy baskets off the missed shots by Knox. And speaking of missed shots, that's exactly what Coach Voigt said. Just keep shooting. Eventually, it's got to go in, guys.
Thank you very much, Lauren. Chad Marcy's been able to get some establishment in the post, but Jim, third quarter has been all Braxton Whitmore for Perry Central. Cole misses on the three. 10 points for Mr. Whitmore.
Certainly so, but I just love the ball movement and just player movement here for Perry Central.
Well, they can score in the half court. They could score on the fast break. James Blair, another bucket. The lead now 30 points for the Commodores. Tanner Wells has had a solid ball game. Gets another point. 9 points for Tanner Wells as James Voigt is going to send in an entire new five. As five players go over to the scorer's table, we will get those as quickly as we can once they enter the ball game.
Just look at this player movement by Perry Central. It's certainly fatiguing the guys for Knox Central, and they're handling the ball so very well, each player.
There's a steal by Matthew Barger against Beverly. Barger, and a hard foul by Beverly. Of course, on the social media, you can Getting on the conversation all this week with hashtag Mountain Classic, an old buddy of ours, Mr. Jeff Archer from down in Knoxville, tweets out, I don't know what it is, but Perry Central always seems to bring it for the Mountain Classic, and boy, oh boy, is that ever true.
It certainly is, and glad to hear from Jeff, and he is right on with his report. Perry Central able to just get things going, but this has been a real team effort here, Josh, in all the areas you like to see, and by that I just mean defense and player movement.
Beverly tried to go behind the back, but it goes out of bounds to Knox as the Panthers have an all-new 5 into the game. We'll get those for you. Delani Graham, a 6'3 senior, number 2. Number 5 with the ball right now, Jeremy Stewart, a sophomore. Number 30, Blaine Wyatt, saw some action in the first half, misses the jumper. Rebound comes to Stewart, flips it up and in, gets his name in the scorebook. Also number 21, Hunter Ty, a junior. And number 33, Dallas Yeager, a 6' senior. So James Voigt obviously, Jim, not liking what he sees from his starting 5 as we take a look at the Panthers who enter this game with Perry Central 9-5 overall, but they've been tested quite a bit this season.
They certainly have played a tough schedule against some of the Lexington teams early in the year, but 4-1 in that 13th region. Of course, Josh, you know all about that. That 13th region going to be a battle, a team that I like, and a team we hope to have in the Mountain Classic in the future. Tell you, the North Laurel Jaguars are, I guess, maybe as good a young talent as I've seen in the mountains in quite a while. I mean, they can come at you with a starting lineup that has basically 8th graders, freshmen, and sophomores.
And they're big.
And they're big and can play. They, you know, a lot of guys in the mountains, a lot of teams in the mountains, I should say, just don't have the big man, but they've got a couple, and they're young and they're good.
Blair, a 3 from the wing, no good. Rebound brought in by Wyatt. This second platoon, if you want to call it, for Coach James Voigt. That's a term used quite often around the state of Kentucky this basketball season. Blocked down low from Tobler. Yeah. Commodores are running again. Blair lays it up and in. Thought he was going to dunk it.
4 for James, and the team just didn't get back on defense there. You saw 3 white jerseys at midcourt, and it's going to be difficult.
Graham lost it to Turner, and Turner nearly lost it, but they're going to get a foul on Knox Central against Delani Graham, 6'3 senior, into the game for Knox Central. 60-32, a 28-point deficit for the Panthers as we are 45 seconds remaining in this third quarter. The winner advances to play Buckhorn in the semis on Friday. The loser plays tomorrow against Lawrence County in the consolation. Matt Turner drives, misses the layup, but will get a couple of free throws. As here's the block by Tobler down low. Swats it out of there against Blaine Wyatt, and Tobler has just been all over the court.
He certainly has, and you saw the quick transition there from defense to offense and the quick bucket. But these Perry Central Commodores came to play.
Head coach Shannon Hoskins, you see on your screen, was a former MVP of this tournament back in his playing days, as well as Clay County head coach Robert Markham. A couple of classic players turned coaches. Short jumper rattles off, no good for Hunter Ty. Rebound to Wyatt, puts it up, missed it. Rebound saved in bounds by Tobler of Perry Central. And pass deflected out of bounds by Jeremy Stewart. And you look across the way at the Knox Central bench, and a couple of the starters, Jim, they just did not look like they just had it tonight. Just kind of
sometimes
just whatever it may be, just weren't here.
Sometimes it's not there, but that young man is there, and he's on for the Mountain Classic.
3 at the buzzer, no good for Knox. 63-32, a 31-point deficit for the Panthers as we head to the 4th, the Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com. Start of the 4th quarter, first round action of the boys Mountain Classic. Knox Central, Perry Central. It's been all Commodores since midway through that first quarter. A 31-point lead for the host school, Perry Central. And there's a turnover by Knox, and Coach James Voigt midway through that third, Jim Frazier, going to a second unit, just not pleased at all with the effort he was getting from a starting five. Maybe sending a message.
Yeah, sending a little bit of a message there. And we have our sideline reporter, Lauren Cash, with the report. Lauren?
Guys, you took the words completely out of my mouth. Completely displeased with his team is what Coach Voigt is. He's staying with those second platoon, I guess I should say. I'm stealing your word, Josh, or Coach Cal's platoon. As far as Coach Hoskins on the other side, he wants to keep focused, and I almost got hit with the ball. 5 guys to the ball, keep rebounding. He wants them to do the same thing, guys.
Hey!
Thanks a lot, Lauren. Another 3 for Braxton Whitmore during that report from about the same spot. His third 3 of the second half. Lead now up to 34 for the Commodores, who are looking about as good as a team can look in the Mountain Classic.
Of course, we just had official Jim Cecil come by and tell us at the break if the lead gets to 35, it's a running clock. So you'll see the ball go out of bounds or something if that shot drops, but the clock keeps going from here on in.
Another 3 for Braxton Whitmore, who had 7 points at the half, 5 3-pointers for Whitmore. And the lead now 37, which means we do have a running clock. Something put in place a couple of seasons ago by the KHSAA. As into the game check for Perry Central, Austin Hill. Seth Napier saw some action in the first half as Willis Noah back and
see the foul there away from the ball. But
staying on the court is Austin Neese and Braxton Beverly. Neese fires a long 3, short air ball. Will go to Knox as the clock is continuing to run now. A running clock, 37-point deficit. And there you see Nate Cole, Matthew Barger, Chad Marcy of Knox. Just one of those nights as an athlete, it's just don't have it.
Yeah, some days you eat the bear, other days the bear eats you, and just wasn't there for the Panthers this evening.
Unfortunately for the Panthers, it was all there for the Commodores.
Yeah, it was. And listen, we saw Coach Noble leave at halftime. Probably a good thing that he did. He doesn't need to see this because Perry Central playing a fabulous brand of unselfish basketball.
Jeremy Stewart running the point for the Panthers. There's a drive, put up shot, no good from Hunter Ty. Rebound controlled by Knox. Foul on the floor on Perry Central. And talking to James Voigt during the first game tonight between Buckhorn and Lawrence, he was very excited, understands the importance of the Mountain Classic, and I'm sure this is not what he wanted in his coaching debut with Knox Central in this tournament.
Oh, but sometimes you learn some things from defeat, and that's what he's going to hope that his team does here. Intensity level wasn't necessarily lacking. It was just kind of regular, okay? And Perry Central did not come out with regular intensity. They came out with regional final intensity.
Well, Perry Central, of course, last year in the finals lost to county rival, city rival Hazard over at Knox Central. And, you know, back on their home court in this tournament, you know they want to come out and they want to take home the banner for the second straight time here at Perry Central. We will have a media timeout. 69-34, 35-point game. Perry Central leading Knox Central. First round. We'll have the rest of the ball game after this on this TV and WYMT.com. The final 4 minutes, 37 seconds of this one. Perry County Central, Knox Central. And off the inbounds, the Commodores, well, I thought they were going to do what they've done all night, and that's just run and convert.
Both teams bringing in some subs, and it looks like the same players because Perry Central playing very effectively here and looking like a team that's going to be difficult to beat at any time.
Shot up no good by Austin Neese. 69-34 Commodores over Panthers. And you know, it kind of reminds me, I was out in Kansas City last spring covering the NAIA tournament, and after the first round, the U-Pike Bears, who at the time were ranked #1 in the country, after that first round, everybody's like, just give them the trophy. Give it to them. They go out, lose second round. And, Jim, that's why you go out and play. As good as Perry Central's look tonight, Friday's a different game, a different night, different opponent. You've got to be able to bring it again.
And that's exactly what they'll have to do. If they don't match their same intensity, they won't be nearly as successful. But in looking at Coach Hoskins and his staff and his players, I don't know. I don't see much much quit in that crowd. They look pretty determined. You don't see a whole lot of high-five and a lot of celebration in these plays. They look pretty determined to bring that intensity throughout the tournament, not just a one-game affair.
And if you're Knox Central, the same message can be said to them. It's not been their night, obviously, down 36 points, 3 and some change to go. And tomorrow, it's a different night. You don't want to come back tomorrow and have the same kind of showing. I'm sure the players feel that way. The coaching staff feels that way. Just kind of continue to run your game and come back tomorrow and hope for a better night.
Yeah, sometimes you just sort of destroy the tape and move on. So I'm not sure if Coach Boyd is of that mindset, but they ran into a buzzsaw on their home court. Probably couldn't have been within 20 if they'd played one of their best games. So sometimes maybe you just forget it and move on, but the only way you forget it and move on for them is if they come out with a lot of intensity tomorrow night and really match Lawrence County, a tough ball club, stride for stride.
Paintsville head coach Bill Mike Runyon, talking to him a couple of weeks ago, he said, I never destroy tape.
Nah.
He always looks at tape, good or bad. He tries to find something, and he said, I destroy the wins. I only look at the losses.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And that could be a reason why he's been so successful.
It could be. Those that say you don't learn anything by losing haven't learned much.
Austin Hill, 3 off the mark. Rebound pulled down by Jacob Hubbard, who's in the game for the first time, as well as Anthony Gray. Long two. Good by Jackson Stewart, the quarterback of the Panther football team, led them to their first outright district championship this past season, something we have eluded in the broadcast, a couple of football players, and boy, Scotty Russell does a great job with that football program.
Certainly does, and I love, they've got such a beautiful Bermuda field there at Knox Central, and they take such pride in that natural surface. Scotty Russell doing a great job, and a lot of these kids play a lot of sports and getting an opportunity here, but it's going to be Buckhorn and Perry Central in our second semifinal on Friday night, and the first semifinal, Knox Central, Clay County. Josh, your thoughts on that one?
If Clay County plays the way they did last night, it may not be close, but they won. I think Coach Markham understands it's win and survive. Right. I think they'll make adjustments and they'll come out ready to play, because they know what this tournament means, being from Clay County. They understand their role in the history of this thing. And Knox Central, of course, everything around that team this season, they're going to come ready to play. And it should be 2 good basketball games on Friday, of course. Friday is always a big night, semifinals, and 2 good matchups, at least on paper, set for the semifinal round.
I think Clay County, one of the few teams in the mountains that can match up and play Knox Central man-on-man because of their outstanding athleticism.
Basket good by Austin Hill, 72-39, 20 seconds to play. Perry on top of Knox. Bucket good by Jermel Carton. He will also go to the line for the and one opportunity, and the clock, of course, continues to run, so this will probably be the last shot taken. And it's no good, as now the clock will run out. 72-41, the final score tonight. Perry Central all over Knox Central. Lauren Cash trying to get a couple of post-game interviews from the Commodores. Again, the Commodores advance to the semifinals on Friday night to place district rival Buckhorn, county rival Buckhorn. That will follow Knox Central, Clay County. The Panthers of Knox go to the consolation bracket, where they will play Lawrence County tomorrow night, 8:30 approximately. Again, every game this week can be seen on this TV and WYMT.com. Perry Central, the host school, looking to win their second Mountain Classic in 3 years. Braxton Whitmore of Perry and head coach Shannon Hoskins getting set with Lauren Cash, and she appears to be ready. Lauren?
Yeah, guys. All right, Braxton, you get off to a hot shooting start, scoring their game's first 7 points. What did you do kind of keep your focus? You all had all around a good shooting night.
We just played tough D, And we know if we hustle on defense, we'll get open shots on offense.
What does it mean for you all to survive and advance in the Mountain Classic?
It means a lot. It's a big tournament, and we want to come out and play good.
You have Buckhorn next. What do you know about them?
We already played them one time in the season. It was a tough game, but I think we can do it.
All right, thanks. Congratulations. Coach, you guys all around just a fundamentally sound game. What did you like out of your guys?
We did a really good job of attacking the basket. We didn't settle for three-point shots early, which we've had a tendency to do this year. We attacked early, got some good looks, built a little lead, and then we built off that. And then later in the game, we started hitting some threes.
54th District showdown in the semifinals on Friday. What's that mean to you guys?
Well, anytime we play a team from the 54th District, it's important to have a good showing. You know, we don't seed our district. We got the blind draw. So any advantage, anything that you can get during the year is great. So hopefully we can get a win in that one.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Lauren. 72-41 the final. Perry Central over Knox Central. We'll be back after this to wrap things up. Josh McKinney, Jim Frazier, Lauren Cash at the YMT Mountain Classic on this TV and WYMT.com.